talk about the number one story for 2025. I wrote an article, as we said at the start. It's at winnipegsun.com about the number one story for 2025 may shock you or it may not. And my column was really that the number one story is that nothing. The government did nothing at all three levels of government in Winnipeg, or you look at Manitoba, you look at the Canadian government, they did nothing. What can you point to, gentlemen? Can you point to anything, any kind of movement forward, any kind of relief for Canadians? Can you point to anything this government has done at any level to make Canada better? In fact, I believe the biggest story should be that all politicians in Canada did an excellent job hiding behind the rock so that no one could see them. No one could judge them. No one could hold them accountable because they didn't do anything. How can you hold me accountable? I didn't do anything. That is what I think is the number one story of 2025.
What did the government of Canada accomplish? They accomplished an almost $80 billion deficit. They accomplished they did do an MOU with Alberta that both does and doesn't do anything.
Oh, don't forget the criminal code, mandatory minimums without the mandatory.
Mandatory minimums without the mandatory. They
Right.
did that. They might have criminalized teaching the Bible under Bill C-9.
Right, and that's important.
They did that. Oh, and they also gave themselves the power to overrule any piece of legislation that would have constrained them. They did that as well. That didn't get a lot of coverage. I really want to think of something positive. Royce, over to you. I'm drawing a blank.
That's a pretty comprehensive summary. We also got an announcement from the Prime Minister that they are negotiating with the Americans. So we're at the pre-negotiation stage. So that's going well. Tariff relief, which we were supposed to have in July, we're not even working on that. We're working on that. You know, we know that this legislative session that the Liberals just went through at the federal level is the least legislatively productive session in modern history. And yet Mark Carney was elected saying that he was going to get things done. What was it? The speed of light? Pipelines were going to get built. Big projects were going to get built. Things were going to get negotiated. Tariffs were going to come off of our goods, at speeds not previously seen. And instead we get a government that did
nothing.
They got a few things out the gate that Lawrence pointed out. But it really does seem that government is paralyzed to some extent. And I think you're right, Kevin. Politicians need to start using their power for the right things. They use their power for the wrong things. But when it comes to dealing with the real issues that we have in this country, they're reticent. They don't want to use the power of the state. I'd like to see a lot more of that in 2026.